Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Brian Bridges Show. Up late at night with Brian Bridges, you all. Matter of fact, it's past night. It is the AM. Yep, I said it. It is the AM, y'all. Come on in for a brief moment. It is definitely late, you all, but I want to come on behalf of Sister AJ Owens, you all, who was killed by a neighbor, a very racist neighbor, might I say, you all. This was just a sad case all by itself, and it has taken the officers 4 days to actually arrest this lady who was her neighbor, you all, and mind you, it took 4 days. So anyway, I'm pretty sure they just let the lady prepare herself, get herself together for what was actually coming, you all. But before I get off into this story, as I do always, I always take the time and read the article and then also show people a brief news clip on top of the information that I am sharing with you all. But anyway, this specific case, um, man, it was a very bad case, you all, because one thing that we were actually taught is to love our neighbors like ourselves. You know, is one of the biggest things in Scripture, you all. Not only it is a big thing, but it is a very true thing, might I say. Uh, to have good neighbors is definitely a blessing. To have people around you and around your home location is definitely a blessing, you all. Especially when dealing with different things like going out of town and just having someone to converse with. Or you may need some Kool-Aid, some sugar, or some ketchup, or some form of a tool that you may can actually use from a neighbor, you all. But in this situation, this lady was a very vulgar lady, a very hateful woman, you all. The whole neighborhood in Ocala actually called this woman Karen. Which is definitely a name for a white lady who is a racist person, you all. So again, this was a very sad case, and again, justice for AJ Owens. I'm going to go straight off into this before I get off into this news article. Copyright disclaimer under Title 17, USC Sections 107, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute and might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit education and personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. It tips to balance in favor of fair use, you all. So again, here we have two neighbors that have been in an ongoing dispute for like 2.5 years, you all. Like I said, very sad incident because this lady who had actually been the suspect, the murderer, might I say, was charged with a manslaughter charge, you all, 4 days later. Now, mind you, this shit had definitely been a murder case, you all. I wouldn't say a first degree murder, but most definitely a second degree murder, you all. They should also enhance this particular case to a hate crime. I said it, yeah, it should definitely be a hate crime because this lady was more than racist in many ways, involving the children of the neighborhood. Now, we all know that kids are going to be kids. They're going to play. They're going to do everything they can do as children to have fun, this particular incident happened in somewhat of an apartment community, and they only have a selected, limited playing area, places where they can actually play. And while these kids are outside enjoying themselves, this lady is cursing them out, calling them all kind of racial slurs repeatedly over and over, recording these kids, so forth and so on. Now, in my honest, blunt opinion, This lady, this was a premeditated act. This was something that this woman had actually thought out, you all. And the reason I say that is because these kids are outside playing all the time, all the time from what I understand about this particular neighborhood, that everyone in the same neighborhood kind of got along with each other, and especially when it came to the children, they all played together, children of all colors and all ethnicity groups. They came together and played in this particular neighborhood, which was not too far. The grass lot where they usually play at is not too far from this lady living area. But mind you, you all, these are kids. They're out there having a fabulous time, growing up being normal kids. Now, we all was kids one day, and, we didn't come up having people calling the police on us and things of this nature, because when the police come, ain't no telling what's can happen. We don't know if a life is going to be lost or a life is going to be saved with the way things are going along with the police department nowadays, you all. Again, this is a very disturbing case, might I say, because, she killed a mother, you all, a productive mother in our neighborhood, in our black community, in the community, period, you all. Like I said, this is very, very sad situation, but I'm glad and thankful that they have finally locked this lady up with some form of an arrest. They can always enhance it later. She can go to court, and I'm not sure if they can enhance it by the time she get to court. That would all have to happen before court, so forth and so on, you all. But again, I'm going to go straight off into this particular news article because it had a lot to say about this particular lady. And then again, uh, the reason that I feel that it should be enhanced to a murder charge, because I do feel that it was premeditated. Now, premeditated murders usually carry a maximum sentence of life sentence, and it is a first degree a charge, you all, and it's something that the sheriff department or this particular sheriff down here in Ocala should have had thought about, you all, especially when considering how this woman behaved with children, calling children racial slurs and assaulting them and things of that nature. Should never happen. And any parent would have reacted the same way Miss A.J. Owens did, you all. Again, it was an iPad that was taken from these kids, and this woman brought this same iPad into her home. And as the kids proceeded to knock on the door to try to retrieve their belongings, this woman swung an umbrella at them, cursed them out, and called them more racial slurs, things of this nature. So these kids ran home and got their mother. Which every kid would do. I wish their father had been there so he could have had gone over and kind of, you know, dealt with the situation instead of the way this situation had ended up, you all. Again, a very, very sad story in itself. So the news reports reads, a Florida woman charged with fatally shooting her neighbors has a history of harassing area children and residents, say, you all. So again, it says Susan Luntz is her name, you all. Susan Lawrence is her name. It say, who is a white and is accused of fatally shooting Miss Ajak A.J. Owens, a black mother of four, through a closed door in Ocala on Friday night, authorities said, you all. So this is wait. This situation again happened in Ocala, Florida. So it says a white woman is charged with fatally shooting a black neighbor through the door, has a history of harassing children and using racial slurs against them, neighbors said on Wednesday. It says Susan Lewis Lawrence, 58, was arrested Tuesday on charges of manslaughter with a firearm, capable neglect, battery, and 2 counts of assault, you all. It said the Marion County Sheriff's Office said in a statement manslaughter with a firearm is a felony punishable up to 30 years, you all. So again, this is a manslaughter case, but she can get as little as probation, you know. People have gotten probation on these particular manslaughter charges, you all. And this is one thing that was kind of disturbing to me because, again, I definitely believe it was premeditated, so forth and so on, you all. But let me go ahead on get a little deeper into this news article. It said the arrest came a few days after authorities said Luntz shot A.J. Owens of 35 years old, mother of four, through the front door in Ocala on Friday night. It said the sheriff officer said that Owens had approached Lunt's home, knocking on the door multiple times and demanding that Luntz come out to settle a dispute. It said at least two of Owens' children witnessed the shooting, you all, according to the sheriff officer, which was criticized by civil rights attorney Ben Crump after grieving family over a pace of the investigation, you all. So again, let me see. Let me continue. It said it was not immediately clear whether Lawrence, you all, who is being held in a Marion County jail, had an attorney who could speak on her behalf. An interview with NBC News neighbors recalled the time that they said the suspect recorded their children taunting them with slurs, calling the police, and waving guns at them, you all. It said just for being kids. It says hours before the shooting, Franklin Cologne was playing in the field with his son and other children when he said Lawrence struck her middle finger up at him, you all. So again, this woman was out here shooting people to birds, so forth and so on. And it said Cologne, who had added Owens, was the first person to warn him about Lawrence when he moved into the neighborhood 2 years ago, said the suspects started recording and screaming all kinds of nonsense towards me, towards the kids, and towards everyone else, you all. It said everybody in the neighborhood has feuded with this lady over our children, you all. So again, this was a very nasty lady, you all. I mean, she has had the same problem with everybody about their kids, you all. And these two pretty much live a lot closer than the rest of these other neighbors, you all. It said Phyllis Willis, 33, has lived in the neighborhood for about 15 years. He said she knew Owens and knew that Lawrence because she used to come outside all the time and harass our kids. She said everybody in the neighborhood has had a feud with this lady over our children, you all. She said that Lawrence had a problem with the children simply being children. It said our kids used to play in the field over there all the time. It's an apartment complex. These are children who you knew. It said they're going to do things. Every time that they went, even in the patch of grass over there, she would be like, "Get off my lawn, you bee," or "Get off my lawn, you retarded," or "Get off my lawn, you N word, you all. So again, this lady was, she was more than just, racist, you all. She was calling the kids retarded and all kind of other things. It said she would wave guns at the children, you all. So this was a crazy woman, if you ask me. But like I said, she had all of faculties, she this was a bad decision, something that she had chosen to do. She would not stop. This lady was relentless with these children, you all. It said Willis continued. She recorded them every time she came outside. She had gotten into a truck and blasted the radio as loud as she could and agitated the kids. It said she had gotten into a truck and laid on the horn for long periods of time to agitate them, you all. So again, that's very crazy. It said as well as she sped out in her truck out here, just crazy things. It said that she said that she never called the police on Lawrence, but had stood in my yard and yelled at her for the way she talks to the kids. But I've never actually had a conversation with the lady. She wasn't somebody you could converse with at all, you all. It said Mama Karen called the police on us today, said one of the kids. Shauna Moselle, 36, who has lived in the neighborhood for about 12 years, said Lawrence was a problem with the kids. Her 10-year-old neighbor, her 10-year-old daughter would most frequently play outside with the other children in the neighborhood. Lawrence used to come outside and she used to record them constantly, and she'll just flick them off while she recorded the kids, calling them out their names, said Moselle, the mother of four children ranging from ages from 10 to 19. She added that Lawrence would bully the children and was known in the neighborhood as Karen, and a sarcastic term for white women who harass people of color and has a reputation for racism. Moselle said the youngest daughter told her that Lawrence would record them and then contact the authorities merely for act of playing, you all. So this woman would sit there and record these kids, and no telling why she cussing them out, and then call the police. All this silly stuff. Had it been a right wrong police officer, they would have came out there and anything could have happened to these kids. But again, it said, Mama Karen called the police on us today. Moselle said her daughter would tell her. So this was a constant thing that this woman would do. She continued, but the police never did anything because they were kids. We're just playing. Like, I don't understand. Like, what was her motive and what was the problem, you all? So this was a little child stating this. It said the lady shot my mom. So again, now we're getting into the part of the other article where Miss Owen's son is actually talking, you all. So it said Cologne was inside of his home around 9 p.m. when he said he heard a sound like firecracker. It said his son told him Owens had been shot and people in the neighborhood, including the children, were standing around crying. According to the sheriff officer, Lawrence had been angry because Owens' children were playing in the neighborhood field, engaging in an argument with the children. During the argument, Lawrence threw a skate at the Owens 10-year-old son and later swung an umbrella at him and the assemblage, according to the sheriff's office. Owens then knocked on Lawrence's door multiple times, and Lawrence fired one shot through the door, the sheriff's office said. Owens was hit in the upper chest and pronounced dead at the hospital, according to the sheriff's office. It said Cologne said he performed CPR on her until the EMS arrived, you all. It said, when I saw her and everything, I'm like, oh crap. I started scanning for open wounds, no exit wounds, just an upper right chest wound, he said. Cologne looked to make sure Lawrence was not around, and he said, adding, she did not come outside after the shooting, you all. I'm pretty sure she was looking out the window or looking through the peephole or whatever. She may have been had a way to see you all, but I'm more than sure that she knew what she had done and had intended to do this, you all. So again, it said Williams was preparing for dinner when one of Owen's children pounded on her door. So again, you all said this is another lady, a neighbor of this same community. So it said it was so loud, my windows were shaking. She said, so I'm like, what the heck? And I go and I open the door, and it's Isaac, her oldest son, and he's gasping for air, and he can't even barely talk. And he is like, lady shot my mom, you know. So it said when he said that, I already knew who he was talking about because she's the only person out here that feud with the children, really Sally. He said, this world is really, really nasty. Crump, who was representing the Orange family, and the slain woman, a relative of one of the loved ones, have said that Lawrence had used racial slurs against Owen's children prior to the fatal encounter. It said one of the children left an iPad behind, which the woman had taken, you all. So again, this is one of the things that they fail to kind of talk about, and this is what actually makes this a premeditated case to me, you all, if you ask me, because if you take anybody property, they are going to come forward, they are going to come ask you what happened to their basketball, what happened to their iPad, what happened to their keys, what happened to their cell phone. I mean, this is a natural reaction, people are going to come knock on your door. They're going to come ask you, where's their property? I mean, I'm pretty sure this is one of the things that she was most concerned about, that they really failed to kind of talk about, you all. So it said after the sheriff incident reports, which is redacted, mentioned that the deputies were told at the scene that the iPad was taken by the woman who was at that time described as the suspect, said that the deputies had been responding to a call about a trespassing that night when they were informed there was a shooting, you all, and they arrived to find Owens laying in the grass, not breathing, according to the sheriff and incident report. It said Lawrence told the investigators she had acted in self-defense and that Owens had been trying to break down her door prior to her discharging her firearm. And the sheriff's officers said in a statement and in an interview Tuesday, Crump said there could be no justification for the killing, you all. So again, it said no way. No way she should feel that a person knocking on her door would be able to cause death to her or imminent bodily harm, you all. So it said, and if she did feel fear, call the police. Well, why would you shoot through a metal door? Mosel's son, Jamarian Wilson, 18, said he witnessed the aftermath of the shooting. He said that when he went outside, he saw the police car everywhere and then saw Owens on the ground and someone performing CPR. He said he didn't know at the time what had happened and didn't know Owens had been shot, you all. It said Wilson said he didn't know Owens well, but knows her 12-year-old son because they will play basketball together with other neighborhood children. It said just another black soul lost. And this is what the young man is saying. Just another black soul lost to the earth, you all. He said, no, It's just not what we need, bro. He said, this world really, really nasty, Wilson added. He said, the mood has changed. And at the news conference Wednesday afternoon, Crump said he hopes the prosecutors consider upgrading Lawrence's charges to murder and also take into account witness statements from the neighbors who said their children have been harassed by the suspect, you all. They said, we are grateful that Sheriff Woods for making an arrest. We don't take it lightly. We don't take it for granted because Black people uh, getting swift justice in America is not something that happens all the time, Crump said. He said, even though we are bothered that it took 4 days, we understand because of law like stand your ground, it could complicate matters, the attorney added, you all. So again, man, this was like I said, man, a very, very sad, man, very unjust to me. Like I said, because just this lady definitely playing this attack you all. So like I said, when you grab somebody, she had already been playing with this gun around these kids, pointing it at these kids, things of this nature. But when you take somebody property and you already expect for them to come. I mean, she knew she was going to shoot through the door, something of this nature, you all, because who is not going to knock on your door for their property? They never said whether they got the property back or, if this woman had admitted to taking the property or things of this nature. But I'm sure this is going to be a key thing in this particular case, you all. So, again, man, this was a very, very sad case. And condolences go out to the Owens family and all her children, you all, and especially her mother, which is going to have to take on the responsibility of these children, you all. And they're going to definitely need all our prayers on top of this, So I do have, let me see. I do have some I can share with you all about the arrest. Let me see.
Say she killed her neighbor by shooting through her front door. We have arrested 58-year-old Susan Lawrence for the killing of Miss A.J. Owens. Owens, a mother of four, killed in front of one of her children on Friday. That incident coming after a long-standing neighborhood feud, according to police. Witnesses say it escalated with a dispute over an iPad, leaving a family motherless.
I am grateful for an arrest. Very disappointed that it took 4 days. Honestly, when is it okay in America to shoot someone behind a locked door?
Some community members outraged that Lawrence wasn't arrested earlier.
Charge her. You know who did it. Charge her.
Attorney for the Owens family, the high-profile civil rights activist Ben Crump, appearing on Top Story last night.
How much time are you going to give police before you take to the streets?
The activists who have seen this before are going to be demanding an arrest immediately.
Just 4 hours later, police making the arrest, explaining the legality of the stand your ground law caused the delay.
My detectives cannot complete an investigation without getting all sides of a story. And that night, all we had was one person's story, and that was the shooter's story.
Detectives ultimately concluding the shooter's self-defense claim did not justify her actions.
Who found the activist? We are mighty afraid this would have been swept under the rug.
The family now calling on the state attorney to consider increasing that charge to murder.
We want him to zealously prosecute the killer of A.J. Owens just like he would do if the roles had been reversed and you had a black woman shoot a white woman through a locked metal door and kill her in front of her children.
Owens' family shattered by this unimaginable loss.
You may look at her and say, she didn't have much. She had it all. Yes. She had love. She had compassion. Her children now grappling with guilt over the moments surrounding their mother's death. One of them had told his mom about the.
And that's another sad thing, this woman was shot in front of her children, you all, and one of her children is he is grieving. He is taking it very bad because he was not able to save his mother, you all. And this is one thing that he will live with for the rest of his life, because actually he had went home and got his mother. So he blamed himself for going to get his mother, and he also blamed himself for not knowing how to do CPR, for not being able to save his mother. So again, these children are going to definitely need counseling. I couldn't imagine my mother being shot in front of me or something of this nature, you all, especially being a child. When you can't do anything at all, as an adult, you can react. You have time to react. You may do something crazy, or you may do the right thing. But at least you in a better position to actually do something. You all, So again, this is very sad, and I would definitely be praying for these children, you all, and I ask that you all do the same as well. God first, Christ came. Peace. We out, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. So I see y'all again soon. Blessing. Peace.